All the kids are here. You guys ready to do grammar?
No.
It's your favorite. No, okay, just that's not fine. I'm talking to you guys at home. Are you excited about doing grammar? No, okay, well, I'm not supposed to talk about that either. But I do want to let you know, I just said a few minutes ago, all you need to do is print out page 5. I was mistaken. And what you actually need is pages 4 and 5. So download those handouts, get out page 4 and 5, print them out. It'll be very handy for you. And you'll be able to follow along with this group of kids in here are super excited. Elijah, you look way too excited about grammar. It's okay.
He's excited about jokes.
He is excited about jokes. Okay,
Hoping I will tell a joke he's never heard.
So here's the problem is you're talking right now to me
Yeah.
and no one can hear you because your mic is off. We hate that. Okay, but here's the good news for you guys. You know, a lot of these students were in the Structured Style for Students classes. It's so fun to see familiar faces. Some of you were not. Those of you that were not in the class, I will tell you that we had a camera right there in that corner that was staring at these kids the whole time, and they had to pretend it wasn't there. And they kept looking at it like, I have to go look at the camera because I was told not to. But the good news, guys, there's no camera there. So you don't have to worry about it.
Don't think of a purple elephant.
Don't, exactly that. All we're seeing is the back of your hair. So if your hair is all messy, sorry, can't do anything about it now. But we don't have to worry about the dirt on your face, Amy. No, you don't have dirt on your face. Just kidding. Okay. So we'll get started in just a couple minutes. Those guys at home can print out pages 4 and 5, and then we'll get ready to go.
Asher, have I met you before?
No.
No. Well, welcome to our fancy studio. What were you expecting this would be like?
I was really not too sure.
Not too sure. Just whatever it is, it will be.
Yeah.
Braden?
Mhm.
I haven't met you before, have I?
No.
You've been homeschooling long?
Yes.
Like your whole life?
No.
No?
I went to school for 1 year.
For 1 year?
It's not letting me open the download. Zapping chipmunk.
Uh-oh, that's very bad. I like your eagle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Lillian, have I ever met you?
No.
No? How did you happen to get roped into this thing?
This file. My mom saw it and assigned my rough up
Uh-huh.
and asked if I wanted to do it.
And you agreed?
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of nice. Kate, how did you, have I met you before?
Yes, when my sister did, I did that with you.
Oh, refresh me your sister's name.
Emma.
Emma, right. Okay, so you've been here before.
Yes, but not in a class.
Not in a class. Well, this is going to be a very short and easy class. The most important thing I have to figure out is which jokes to start with. Jack, you had a good summer?
How about you?
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you look like you've been getting good recreation or work.
We go to Hickey Creek down the street like twice a week.
Uh-huh. So that's good. So you haven't
Yeah,
felt
it's a lot of
cooped up
fun.
during the coronavirus.
Not really.
It's been awfully hot recently, though. Does that bother you? The
Not
heat?
really. I like heat more than the cold.
Oh, man. I would so prefer cold. You too, Josiah?
Yeah.
I mean, you can always put on more clothes, but you can only take off so much.
Exactly what I told my parents.
Uh-huh. Why did I end up living in this hot place? But it's not the worst place I've been. I can name some places that are so much worse. Manila in the Philippines. It's like this hot with 98% humidity. It's just unbearable. I had one day to be a sightseeing tourist in the Philippines when I went for a conference. And it was so hot. Like after 20 minutes, literally, of being outside, I could hardly stand it anymore. All I wanted to do was just go find someplace cooler. It was miserable sightseeing in that much heat. But I've also been to Fairbanks in February, where it was unseasonably warm at only 15 degrees below zero. The kids who live there tell me, oh, well, you should come back when it's 60 below zero. Evidently, if you live in Fairbanks, Alaska, when it's 60 degrees below zero, this is according to kids, it is so cold and so dry that you can take a glass of water, throw the water in the air, and it will freeze and evaporate before it hits the ground. Now that's cold. Evidently, you can make a little circular pattern in the snow, like a little disc shape, pour in a quart of motor oil, and it'll freeze into rubber and play Frisbee.
Whoa.
And in Fairbanks, it's so cold that people have to plug in their engines. So they all have engine block heaters, and they have to plug in the car for as short a time as 20 minutes, or the motor oil will freeze and their car won't run. So when you go to the shopping center or the supermarket, all of the parking spots have little plugs so people can plug in their cars. Not electric car. Where else have I been that's worse than here? Charleston, South Carolina. It's a lovely town, but in the summer, again, the humidity just kills you. So I was in this hotel right across from a park, and there was like a, I don't know, like a farmer's market kind of park thing. And I woke up and I thought, I'll go over there and see if they have some little food cart or food stand of some sort. And I walked out across the street. I thought, this is going to be horrible. I already was just tired and exhausted. And I did the stupid thing of taking a shower before that. I said, I'm going to make it. I'm going to walk all the way around this thing and find a breakfast burrito or die trying. And by the time I got back to the hotel, and I'm singing, I'm only out there 15 minutes. I mean, literally all my clothes were soaking wet with sweat. So I had to take a shower and change clothes at 7:30 in the morning. Elijah, have I met you before?
I don't think so.
No? Have you been homeschooling long?
Since I was in third grade.
Third grade? And how old are you now?
12.
12? Good. You friend with Josiah?
Yeah, he's my brother.
Really?
Well, not brother.
Okay, like bro.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's good. Well, welcome to our class. I'm glad you could make it. I have a, what? Oh, we have to start? No, he's just shrugging. He's like, I'm going to ask him what joke should I tell, and he's just, whatever you want. I fear this class is just going to be so easy that it's just boring. That's what I'm afraid of, but we'll do it anyway. Doesn't he do that well? Now, the really super skilled people do it with one hand, but it takes years of practice. And this is only his second day on the job, so. Well, Jack, you know all my jokes, I think, but you might not know the old pirate joke. I think I told the old pirate joke as part of the group C joke. Do you realize what I had to do? Do you realize that I have filmed 144 classes? And I had to tell at least 144 different jokes. It was very taxing on me to find and remember all those jokes. And some of them were kind of lame, weren't they? Yeah. But this is a good one. And I don't think you heard it because it was the group C. So those of you who are in the group B, hopefully this is new to you. So there's this old pirate, right? And he's in the tavern drinking grog. That's a form of alcoholic beverage, in case you didn't know. He's drinking grog. Excuse me if anyone is offended by pirates drinking grog, but sometimes jokes just hurt. So he's in the tavern drinking grog with the sailors, and one of the sailors says, well, oh wait, got to set this up right. the old pirate. He has a wooden leg from his knee down. He has a sharp silver hook in place of his right hand, like Captain Hook, right? And he has a black patch over his right eye. You got the picture? That's really important to the joke, is the setup. All right, so now he's in the tavern drinking grog with the sailors, and one of the sailors says, well, Captain, tell us, how'd you lose your leg? And the old pirate says, argh, because that's what pirates always say. My leg? Well, I was on the deck of my ship, and we was attacked by British men of war, and the cannonballs were flying, and one of them flew and landed right on me foot and blew it off. But I quickly wrapped a tourniquet around the stump, and we kept on the fight and continued and took the prize. And I got this to show for it. So then another sailor says, well, Captain, tell us, how'd you lose your hand? He says, me hand. Well, we was attacking the fort at St. Kitts, and I was holding off 3 British regulars myself with me rapier. But I slipped on a banana peel, and I lost my balance, and one of the enemies sliced off my wrist. But I skewered him with a dagger. I quickly wrapped a tourniquet around the stump. We continued the fight. We took the fort, but I got this to show for it. So then another sailor says, obviously,
Oh, what happened to your eye?
yeah, how'd you lose your eye? Captain says, well, the eye. I was on the deck of my ship, and I was looking up at the sails, and a pelican flew right overhead and dropped a little you-know-what right in the eye. And one of the sailors says, wait a minute, Captain, are you saying you lost your eye because of bird droppings? Captain says, well, to be totally honest, that happened the very day after I had got me hook. You see, jokes are inherently violent. It's painful. But no real pirates were hurt in the making of this joke. So this is my new favorite joke. It's very short. It's not a long story joke like that. But I think you'll appreciate it, Jack. It's my new favorite joke. Nobody in this class has heard this joke. There's a woodcutter, and he's out in the forest, and he's about to chop down a tree. And the tree says, stop, stop, don't chop me. I'm a talking tree. And the woodcutter says, yes, and you will dialogue. I knew Jack would like it. Yeah. I have a friend who says the whole reason for education is so you get all the good jokes. You know, because they do kind of test your knowledge of things. Did I ever tell you the 2 Adams walking down the road? Not Adams, atoms. 2 atoms walking down the road. One of them says, I think I've lost an electron. The other one says, really? Are you sure? The other one says, yeah, I'm positive. See, if you don't know any chemistry. All right. Well, we're going to do a little demonstration here with this grammar course called Fix It. And this may be very simple for you. You may already know everything. If that's the case, just pretend you're stupid. And, you know, we'll try to make it work. But it's a very gentle and easy kind of grammar. How many of you, if someone said, hey, grammar book, would think, yes. No, But Braden is definitely on the no side. But if I said, hey, Robin Hood, sounds a little better, doesn't it? So the way this book works, and we have 6 in the series and a few coming. The way this book works is we just do like 1 sentence a day. And it's mostly about just proofreading and labeling. And each sentence is the next sentence in the story. So as you go through the book, you get the next little bit of the story each day. And it will tell you what you are supposed to be looking for and what you're supposed to mark. And it's called Fix It because most of these sentences have problems, embedded errors, things that need to be corrected or fixed. And so if you open the book to page 4 and 5, you'll see 4 and 5 right there next to each other. Each week starts with a few grammar things that you maybe already know, or you might want to know, or you should know. And it explains them with a bunch of words. I was trying to figure out how could we explain all these things without a bunch of words, because who wants to read all that? But unfortunately, we couldn't figure out a way, so we put all the words. So I would recommend that you read this. We're going to read it together. And these are the things which you're going to look for to fix on the sentences on the next pages, right? And each week you get 4 sentences. Sometimes there's 2 sentences because they want you to practice figuring out where the end of a sentence should be. And then the next week, you get a few more things that are added in to the list of things that you need to fix or mark. So we're starting with week 1, and it's really very simple, which I suppose is better than overwhelmingly complicated and frustrating. Okay, so the first thing is indentation. Now you know indentation because it's a paragraph. And some of you know our writing program. We talk about paragraphs and talk about indenting or block paragraphs, and that's based on topic. But fiction is a little different. There are some rules as to when you should use an indentation when you're writing fiction. Now, you probably noticed this, the books you read, this stuff. Like, when are some times that indentations occur that you've noticed? Emily?
Speaker changes.
Speaker changes, which is really handy because then you notice, oh, it's a dialogue, and then they don't have to say Joe said, Sally said, Joe said, Sally said, and they can just have the dialogue flow without so many tags, and it's easy. So speaker change. Anything else you know? When else are you supposed to indent when you're writing fiction? Well, there's a few more cases, so let's read through. In fiction, you should start a new paragraph for these 4 reasons. New speaker, Emily knew that. Topic, that's kind of vague. Place or time. So that's what you want to remember, right? Speaker, topic, place, or time. Now, sometimes it's almost a matter of opinion. Is this a new topic or not, right? Is this a new place or not? Sometimes you have to read what was before and maybe even what's coming later to be sure that it is actually a shift, but one of those reasons. So speaker, topic, place, or time. There is a symbol. You have probably seen this symbol. I've used it. If you've been in one of my classes, I really like this symbol. In fact, if I were to design a language out of just symbols that I think are cool, this would definitely be one of the letters or characters. It's a backward P with a double, what is that? Leg? Double thing? A double thing. Anyway, it's a backward P with a double thing. If you're typing, it's option 7. Handy to know. So when you determine that there is a new speaker or topic or place or time, you would put that symbol, the backwards P with the extra thing, leg. I guess you should call it a leg, right? Only it's not an extra leg, because if it didn't have two legs, it wouldn't be a leg, it would have fallen over. Anyway, so we'll put that one right there because this is the very first thing, and it is indeed new because there's nothing before it.
Jill calls it
A pilcrow? I don't like that word. A pilcrow? That sounds like a mix between an obnoxious bird and a disgusting vitamin. A pilcrow. Okay, well, whatever. I like the symbol though. I think it looks cool. Okay, in stories, the indentation rules are somewhat flexible, so your choice to indent may be different from what is recommended in the teacher book. That's okay. As long as you can explain why your choice fulfills a rule, you're good to go. So the teacher book has all the corrected up stuff, and the basic game is this. You get the uncorrected stuff, you try to correct it, mark it, put everything that's on the checklist there, and then we fix it together here, and then we compare it with the teacher book and see if we got it all, right? But it's saying, you know, indentation. It's a little bit of a matter of opinion. Okay, capitalization. Now, there are no capital letters in the student book. You're supposed to make that happen. And there is a convention, which is like something we all agreed on, not when you get to go to a big fancy hotel and look at interesting stuff and hear speakers. That's one type of convention I have been deprived of this year. Otherwise, you say conventions are the things we all agree to do the same way, right? And there is a convention for making capital letters. Does anybody know the official way to make capital letters? You do, yes.
Putting the 3 lines under the lowercase.
Exactly. Now, what I would do, I would just simply make the blasted thing into a capital. But that's not what we're supposed to do. We are supposed to use the symbol, the editing symbol, which is to put 3 lines under the word that needs to be capitalized. Is it under the word? Nope. Under the letter. So, 3 lines under the letter, capital. Okay, what do you need to capitalize? All right, what do you know? You always capitalize what? Jack.
First word of the sentence.
First word in the sentence.
Names.
Names. Proper nouns, right? Emily. Proper nouns. Good. Now, we try to make things a little tricky. So, if you just had a story, once upon a time, there was a king who gave gold to all of his people and created inflation and destroyed the economy. I do not know why I said that. If you have that, do you capitalize king? No. But if you said, King Midas wanted gold, then you do capitalize king because it's part of his title. Same way with this. If you said, the president will be in Tulsa last week. Okay, you'd have to say the president came to Tulsa next week. You don't capitalize president. But if you say President somebody, then you do. Do you see the difference? All right, so capitalization. Places, what are some places?
McDonald's.
McDonald's, Tulsa, Neverland, Venus, Sherwood Forest. Just gave you a freebie there. All right, articles. Okay, so those are the two things, two of the things you have to mark in terms of the punctuation kind of things. Okay, now we're going to start labeling parts of speech. Okay, and we're starting with the super easy ones. Nouns. What's a noun?
Person, place, or thing.
A person or place or thing. And some people add in the word idea, just in case you forget that ideas are things. So N for noun, there's going to be a lot of nouns, unfortunately, just painful lot of nouns. All over the place, there's a lot of nouns. So it's a challenge to catch them all. Articles. Do you know what an article is? I'm not talking about a newspaper article. Oh, those don't exist anymore. Well, you know, in grammar, Jack, an article, it's a tiny word. And it goes right before a noun. And it drives poor people who have to learn English as a second language absolutely crazy. Words like
Is it the?
the, that would be one. A or a, another one. And N, yes. Not a long list. But how to use them properly in English. Can you imagine how hard that would be if you didn't know English? And some languages don't even have them at all, so that makes it even worse. Okay, now, most of you, I think, are familiar with the dress-up technique, who or which clause. Who, which clause? So we're going to mark those. This is super easy. If you see the word who, or which, or whose or whom, I think, are included, you put W-W on top of it. All right? End marks. Okay, every sentence has to have an end mark. What are the options?
Period, exclamation mark, or a question mark.
Yes, those are the three. And then there's a big debate about colons, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to keep it simple. So those are the things you're looking for. Now, look at page 5, and you'll notice on the top, it gives you the list of things that you are responsible to find and fix and mark. So there may be later many things added to this list. In fact, if I look back toward, say, week 22, it looks pretty painful. But it's a gradual increase of pain, not a sudden increase. All right, so today, very easy. So you have there day 1, and I think it always helps to read the thing out loud. So let's just read it out loud, because then you get a sense of how it sounds in addition to seeing. In the olden days of England, King Henry II reigned over the land. Simple sentence. But there's a question. What does the word reigned mean? Ruled. Simple, easy, but some of the vocabulary gets a little challenging later on. So the idea is you're going to add to your vocabulary. And when I was doing this with a group of students, about every month, I would give some kind of crossword puzzle or quiz or have a word game with the vocabulary to keep it fresh. So if you don't know the word, you would want to look it up. Actually, I think they give you vocabulary cards. There are no vocabulary cards. Okay, well, forget that. Oh, there's cards. They're grammar rule cards. I don't think you could play poker with them. Oh, well. If you have a sister, you could poker with them. Oh, it's been a long day. All right. So what we would do then is we would say, okay, got the vocabulary. We know what reigned means. Done with that. Indent. Yes or no? Yeah, I already did it for you. So mark that in your book. The little Crow pick? Pilcrow. Pilcrow. I'm going to remember a large vitamin with an ugly bird imprinted on it. So when I need to remember that word, that's the awful image that will occur to me. I've been studying memory techniques. Did you know, Jack? I'm planning to write a book on how to remember 100 jokes. All right. Okay, so you get your indent. Okay, and then of course you draw the little 3 lines under the letter I. Okay, so now we are looking for capitals in addition to that. Does anyone see anything that should be capitalized after that? Jack?
England.
England. Okay, so we have to put 3 little lines under England. All right, what else? Anything else needing? Yes.
King and Henry.
King and Henry. I know some people who avoid having to decide whether to capitalize things by simply writing everything in capitals. My father did that. He was an engineer. Everything he ever wrote, he wrote in all caps. I have a friend who types emails, all caps. Think how easy it is for those people. Only if you write an email in all caps, it sounds like someone's yelling at you. It's like, Andrew, how are you? Calm down. All right. Is there any more capitals? King, Henry. Yeah, what do you think, Jack?
Would the second be part of his title?
So right, you are.
But do we just capitalize second? Because
The
capitalize that?
does not need to be capitalized. Let me check the teacher book. Yes, it's kind of like titles. You know, in a title, you always capitalize the first word, and then you always capitalize the last word, but then you don't capitalize the articles like the, or the prepositions that are short, right? So we do indeed capitalize second. Now that might have slipped by some of you, but thank heavens we got Jack to keep us on the roll here. Okay, I think we're done with capitals. End marks. Does this need an end mark? Okay, so now you have to decide which one you want. It's pretty obvious, huh? Yeah, I think so. Because you wouldn't say, in the olden days of England, King Henry II reigned over the land. All right, so there we go. We add our period. Okay, now we have to label any of these 3 things. And the list will get added to very significantly later on. But right now we're looking for articles. So this is easy. We just go, stop! And we put AR on top. And then we keep going. And we keep looking. And then we see another one and say, ha ha, another one. Put an AR on top. And then we keep looking. A, N, or the. Yes! Delightful. We found all 3. Okay, so now we have a lot of nouns. This is the part I don't like, honestly. Like, there's always nouns. Why do you have to mark them? It's just part of the game. It's like shuffling the cards. You just got to do it. Or you just make your dad do it. Okay, so noun, noun, noun.
Yeah.
Can you eat an Olden? Can you throw an Olden? Can you pet an Olden? No. What actually, what is that? Anyone know? Adjective. But we're not marking it yet, so we just skip it. Days. Can you eat days? Actually, you can. But are they things? Yes. Okay. So, now. England. You cannot eat England. But it is a thing. At least we are led to believe that it really exists. Oh, this is tricky. Okay, king. Is that a thing? But King Henry? Let's check the teacher book. Yeah. It's not tricky. They're both nouns. Although it just feels kind of adjective-y. Second. Now, that's a word that has other meanings, right? So if it was give me a second, but if you said give me a second helping of ice cream, it becomes an adjective. So in this case, it's because it all goes together. King Henry the Second. It's a very big thing. Reigned. That's not a noun. What is it? Elijah?
A verb.
You got it. Verb. Over. No. What's that? Anyone know?
Preposition.
Ooh, you're sharp. The. No. Land. Yes. Okay. Whew. That's all you got to do. We've marked everything. Now, there's no who, which clause, so we don't have to worry about that. All right. You got the hang of it?
Yes.
All right. Now, you get to do day 2 yourself. You're looking for the same stuff. The checklist is at the top. Glades. Glades? What's glades? They lived within the green glades of Sherwood Forest. What do you think glades are? Seems like it, but it's a little more detailed.
Is it trees?
It's actually where their trees are not. So if you imagine a forest and a little area inside the forest where there's no trees, that's a glade. At least according to this definition is open spaces in a forest. Which, you know, I think is a nice place for a famous outlaw to live. A glade. He has a blade. He's in the glade. Okay, so we got the vocab. Okay, the rest is on you. Do you indent or not? Now remember, you can't be wrong. You just have to have a reason for your decision. Okay, now you're looking for your capitals. Go ahead, mark it. Do it. And just because I'm so nice, I'll give you a hint. There are as many capital letters needing to be marked as you have fingers on one hand. Okay, once you've got your 5 capital letters marked, you attend to the end mark. Do you want a period, a question mark, or an exclamation? Then you look for those articles, a, an, and the. I'll give you a hint. There are only as many as you have legs. I guess that could be dangerous if someone had amputated a leg. Okay, then the plague. Nouns. You have to put the N over the nouns. I will give you a clue here. the way this is marked is that if the noun is 2 words but one thing, you just put the N over the whole thing, which doesn't make complete sense to me because we had King and Henry II and we had to put 3 N's. But in this case, Sherwood Forest, you only put 1 N over the whole thing. There's another noun that gets 1 N over the whole thing. What do you think that might be?
Robin Hood.
Good. All right. You got it all? And then if there was a who or which or whose, no, you don't mark the whose. Okay, this is a little bit like if you were doing a dress-up checklist and you had a who, which on the style checklist, and you used whose, you could count it. But in this case, evidently, it's a slightly different animal grammatically, so we don't. Okay, you got it? Okay, let's see. Emily, you want to tell me what to mark here?
Capitalize there, Sherwood and Forest, and Robin Hood. And then put a period. And then an AR over B and A. And then an N over Blades. Sherwood Forest. Outlaw. May. And Robin Hood.
Did you get all that? Did you fix it? You missed a couple? Could be a little tricky. I might myself have kind of just forgot that name was a noun. But that's because I don't like nouns. Okay, now there's one thing she did not mention. Did anyone think about the thing which she did not mention? Jack? Yes. Should there be an indentation or not? Let's vote. Indent. Don't indent. Well, is it a change of topic? Probably so. But it seems pathetic to me to have just one sentence and then have to indent all of a sudden. But this is where you can defend your opinion. The teacher's book, however, does say indent. So, all right, on to date. Now, if this were like normal life, we'd be done for the day. We'd be outside playing, swimming, fighting, sleeping, reading comic books, like living normal life, or even having a snack, which actually sounds very appealing. But no, we're compressing time. So we're going to do a whole nother day here in the next few minutes. All right, so day 3. Let's read it. No archer that ever lived could shoot a bow and arrow with such expertise as he did. All right, vocabulary word. Who could define expertise? Grady.
Like he's really good at it, or he's an expert.
He's an expert, and this is a noun, right? So we might choose the synonym skill to relate to that. Expert, skill, or knowledge. That's what the book says here. Good, perfect. Okay, all right. You know what to do? Do it. Do you want any hints? There's as many capitals as you have noses. There's as many articles to mark as you have capitals. There are only 4 nouns, but that's not quite true because, like, there's nouns, and then inside the vast universe of nouns is pronouns, but we're going to treat them differently. So in this case, we do not mark pronouns such as he. So there's only 4 markable nouns. And there's no remarkable nouns at all. Just do it once. All right, you got it? Elijah, you want to give me what I should do here?
Okay.
All right.
Capitalize no. I mean N.
N, good.
Then put Archer for N.
N for Archer.
Put AR for A.
Oh, yeah.
And then put for N for bow.
N for bow.
Arrow.
Arrow.
Then N for expertise.
N for expertise.
And then period.
And a period.
It's talking about Robin Hood.
You got it. Still talking about Robin Hood. No change. All right. Very nice. Let me check the teacher book. Yes, you got it all. Well done. Did everyone get that? Yeah. Okay, see how easy? Things this easy should be almost criminally. They're too easy. All right, week 4. I'm going to just go ahead and do day 4. I'm going to write, oh, you're on 3. I'm going to just write day 4 while they do the day 3. Oh. Well, I guess I better put up the day 4. Okay, you just fix day 4 while I put it on the board. That'll work. I was going to try to have someone else write it, but I think it's okay. You do the edit while I put it on the board, and then we will be able to say we did it, which is the main goal, to have done something. Okay, Jack,
What is ramble?
what is rambled? Do you have a guess? Anyone have a guess? Elijah,
Like swabbling.
like what?
Like talking like if me and Side were talking like bad or something.
Yeah,
Arguing.
arguing. I don't think you could say he rambled on like someone just like what I do all the time, just like talking just to fill up space and irritate people. That obviously is probably not the meaning here. Did you have a thought what it might be?
Like messing around a little bit.
Messing around. Let's see what the definition provided is. Wandered in a leisurely manner. So, you go to Josiah's house and you say, come, let us ramble together. And then you leisurely walk. I doubt it. Not you guys. You're too energetic. That's what my wife and I, that's what grandparents do. Anyway, or Robin Hood and his merry men. Rambled. So we have then those 4 words: reigned, glades, expertise, and rambled. So you would want to kind of review that or try to use the words. That's the best way to learn a word and get it into your active mind, is to try and find an opportunity to use it, right? Okay, who would like to, you did one already, right, Jack?
Like 2 structures on the board?
Well, didn't you do one?
No.
No? Okay. Where's my blue pen? Okay, you got it, Jack, go.
No indentation.
No indentation.
Capitalize he in Greenwood shades. Greenwood shades. Article above the. In over side. Min. And Greenwood shades. Which over who?
Oh, good. Did every one of you get that? Is that it?
Mhm.
Okay. Does anyone see something he may have missed? Grady. Those blasted periods get you every time, huh? Oh, you did put it there? Okay. Yeah, period. Now, I'm not sure about Greenwood shades, quite honestly.
I mean,
It
it's a proper
definitely seems like it. In fact, there could be a whole like subdivision in the city called Greenwood Shades. And Sherwood Forest surely is, but I'm sorry to say it is not. It's just poetic, but not proper. Maybe we need a new category for nouns. There's pronouns, personal nouns, or proper nouns. We need poetic nouns. So, which also means, I fear, that Greenwood is not a noun. If Greenwood is not a noun, what might it be? Josiah?
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. All right, let's see if there's anything else. 1 article, 3 nouns, capital, no indent. Okay, so that's it. A whole week of grammar lesson done. Now, just so you get a little preview, I would like to read you the checklist of what you have to deal with on week 28. Just so you know. Vocabulary, indent, capitals, homophones in usage. What are homophones? Words that sound the same but are different, like there and there and there and two and two and before and after. No, sorry. Commas, that's going to be the beast. And marks, quotation marks, very important. And then the combination of commas and quotation marks. Numbers, there's rules about numbers. And then you get to mark. Coordinating conjunctions, prepositions, clausal starters, subject, subjects with a who, which, verb, main clause, dependent clause, adverb clause, prepositional opener, ly opener, adverbial clause opener, and very short sentence. So it gets worse. However, I would like to say that I've taught through this book. It was a while ago because obviously I forgot some things. But I will say it's really quite a kind of painless way to get all that stuff. And grammar is not like math. Right? Elijah, you know this. Math has answers that are always right or wrong. And, you know, it's if you didn't get it right, just do it again. Grammar is actually an art, kind of like cooking. You can get it really right and you can get it really wrong, but you can also be somewhere in between some of the time. So the thing isn't to feel bad if you miss something. It's just to say, ah, that was a little more practice. How many of you play sports? How many of you play music? How many of you like to paint or draw? How many of you cook? Okay, so it's all in that category. You keep practicing, 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 practicing. And I'll tell you, this Fix-It goes up through book 6, and it's so detailed and challenging to get it all. I can't even do it. I should probably do it. Then I could say I did, which is the goal. All right, do any of you have any questions? Oh yes, the last thing we have to do is copy this into your notebook. Did you bring your notebook? No, you did not. Fortunately, there's paper. So the goal here is to copy the fixed up sentences with indentations where they're supposed to be, in nice handwriting on a sheet of paper. And if you're going to continue doing this, then you can just keep adding to it. And over the course of the school year, you would have written out this entire story of Robin Hood and Little John. So take a few minutes now, practice your penmanship. And no, you don't copy, stop. You don't copy with the edits like that. You don't use a paragraph symbol.
Oh.
You actually, here, start fresh. You copy it as if it were perfect. So you do indent and you go ahead and you capitalize all the things that need to be capitalized. You don't have to mark the parts of speech because you already did that. Yeah, so you're just copying. Making your beautiful handwriting. Maybe I should try. Yeah, so Elijah, you don't have to redo anything, but in the future, you want to kind of just do it like that. So it's more like a whole story. You don't have to put day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And that just makes it read more smoothly. Yeah, so in the future, just because what you'll have in the end is the whole story copied over, and it'll read or look just kind of like, normal writing. Yeah. Oh, yes, I remember. You can write very small.
It's usually smaller than that.
Yes, she needs a finer tip pen to really get down there, huh? You know who else wrote unbelievably small writing? Was Charlotte Bronte. I saw an actual photo of her writing. And it was like, how could anyone possibly? And that was in the days of quill pens, let alone read it. But it is interesting because when you start to write smaller, you realize you can write faster because it just takes less time. And of course, you save a ton of money on ink.
Andrew, can you hold it so that Noah can get that?
Yeah. All right. That's so it kind of shows how you just flow it all together. All right. Well, most of you have finished, and you can take that. You're welcome to keep the book. It's your souvenir. Hopefully, you either go through it or inflict this on some other person for whom you have a desire to hurt. Trying to think of a good joke to finish with. Did I tell in your class the old lady and the peanuts joke? I did.
Okay, not everybody here was in that class.
I think it's a good one, don't you?
Actually, I don't remember.
Okay, well, I'll just tell it. And if you remember it, you do. But if you don't. So there's this old lady, very old. She could be 100. Nobody knows. She won't reveal her age, but she's definitely close to that, if not over 100. But she's healthy, lives alone, takes care of herself. Her nephew likes to drop in on her. He lives nearby. So he visits her, every week or two just to, be friendly and helpful and see if she needs anything. So he knocks on the door. She answers the door. Oh, Sonny, I'm so happy to see you. Come on in and sit yourself down, and I'll go fix us some tea. So she disappears into the kitchen to prepare the tea. And he sits down, and there's a coffee table, and there's a pile of magazines, and there's a bowl of peanuts. So he starts looking at the magazine. It's like National Geographic, prevention, that kind of thing. And he eats some peanuts, and he keeps eating peanuts, and it's taking her quite some time to get the tea, maybe 20 minutes or so. So by the time she's got the tea, he realizes, kind of absentmindedly, he ate all the peanuts. And he's a little self-conscious about that. And so he says, oh, Aunt Gertrude, I'm so sorry, but I hadn't had lunch. I guess I was a little hungry, and I accidentally ate all your peanuts here. And she said, oh, Sonny, that ain't a problem at all. See, I can't chew peanuts anymore. And I already sucked all the chocolate off them. See, like I said, jokes are inherently violent. All right, well, thank you very much for helping us do this little demonstration class, and thank you to all of you out there in different parts of the country and the world who suffered through this with them. I hope you continue on your practice of the art of grammar with a fix-it book. And if this is too easy, we can fix that. So take all your stuff and go have a nice day, what's left of it. Jack, why should you never trust atoms?
So they make everything up.
You got it.